Welcome to Yankees baseball as we have the New York Yankees facing off against the Detroit Tigers in Comerica Park in Detroit. Today is the home opener for the Detroit Tigers. This is the first away game for the Yankees. As opening day, the Yankees defeated the Houston Nationals off a walk-off by Alex Rodriguez, and then they lost the last two games of the series as Pineda and Severino didn't have great pitching games. So here's your starting line for the Yankees. Leading off is Ellsbury, followed by Gardner, Rodriguez, Teixeira, Brian McCann behind the plate, Beltran, Chase Headley batting 7th, Starlin Castro, the new acquisition, and batting 9th will be Didi Gregorius, And on the mound for the Tigers today is Anibal Sanchez, as of course it's his first game of the season, as here comes Jacoby Ellsbury as he's batting .500 to start the year, as he's been doing excellent to start off. The 1-1 from Sanchez will be taken for a ball. The count runs to 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Ellsbury taken for ball 3. 3-1 count now as the 3-1 to Ellsbury, as he rips this up the middle for a base hit, as that is the first base runner for the Yankees, as of course Jacoby Ellsbury is a threat on the base paths, as he's very fast, one of the fastest players on the Yankees, might even be one of the fastest players in baseball, definitely up there, as that brings up another speedy guy, Brett Gardner, as the count is 3-1 to Gardner, and he hits it off Sanchez, goes down the third base line, and he's safe at first, but is Sanchez okay after taking one to the leg? He's down on the ground. But I'll tell you this much, that this guy will be tough, and Sanchez will try not to get out, because he's a tough guy, and he will stay in, as now the designated hitter Alex Rodriguez steps to the plate. So the count is 3-1. Pitch from Sanchez is ripped up the middle for a base hit as Ellsbury rounds third. He's heading home. Gardner stays at second, and Ellsbury scores as it is now 1-0 as Alex Rodriguez gets an RBI single, and the Yankees are already on top 1-0 as that brings up Mark Teixeira. The first baseman has been decent so far in the first 3 games, batting .255 as the pitch is fouled off, as the count runs to 1-2. As Sanchez gets the sign from James McCann. Kicks and deals, and Teixeira rips this one past Kinsler down the middle, and Gardner will be out at the plate as Gardner was gunned down by Cameron Maybin, as that was an incredible throw. So we'll take a look at this once more. As Maybin gets it and he throws it, he even falls and does kind of a sideward somersault, and he's gunned out at home. As it is still 1-0 as Brian McCann comes up, and he is not related to James McCann, who's behind the plate, as many people do think that, because they wear the same number and they're the same position, of course, because they have the last name. But he takes a strike for 3-1 now, as Brian McCann was a great hitter last year, as he fouls this one off, as it is now 3-2 count. Brian McCann is that type of guy who won't really get you a ton of singles. He'll get you a lot of doubles and homers, as he grounds this one past to Kinsler right as I say that. And the bases are now loaded, as A-Rod will not test the throw by the right fielder, J.D. Martinez, as now Carlos Beltran comes to the plate, as he's batting .276. As the bases are juiced for Beltran, as the 0-2 to Beltran will be chipped foul, as he barely made contact with that pitch. Carlos Beltran is a 36-year-old veteran who rips this one to Maybin as he is under it, and he will make the catch, but tagging up is A-Rod, and he will score as Cabrera's throw is late. It is now 2-0 Yankees. as that'll bring up Chase Headley to the plate, as Chase Headley was acquired from the Padres in the Yangervis Solarte trade in 2014. As he comes to the plate as last year he had 11 homers and he was batting .259. Chase Headley is ready for the pitch, and he hits it straight to Cameron Maybin, and he will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. As we are now in the bottom half of the first, as the Yankees are up 2-0. As here's your starting lineup for the Tigers, as it is Iglesias, Upton, Cabrera, and you'll see the rest later. As on the mound for the Yankees is the right-handed, hard-throwing Nathan Eovaldi. As Jose Iglesias batted exactly .300 last year with only 2 homers, but he got a lot of RBIs. So the 1-2 will be ripped to Headley as he throws on to first in time for the first out. So that brings up the new acquisition, Justin Upton, as he signed a big deal with the Tigers to leave the Padres, as he's been on fire recently. As the 2-1 to Upton is chopped foul. Now count runs to 2-2. Eovaldi kicks and deals. Taken for a strike as he got Upton looking. So that was a nasty slider by Nathan Eovaldi. As there's the second out of the inning, and that brings up Miguel Cabrera, as Miguel is one of the best players in baseball, batted .338 last year. Despite having injuries for a few months, he still had an incredible year, as he swings through the nasty fastball for strike 2. The 1-2 will be swung through the sliders. He got him chasing, and that'll be end for the inning. Here's a beautiful view of Motown, also known as Detroit, Michigan. As we jump into the top of the third, as it is still 2-0, as Brett Gardner comes to the plate. Counts 1-1. The 1-1 to Gardner will be ripped up the middle for a single, as Maybin can't catch it. He throws to second, as Gardner gets his second single of the game. We'll take a look at this one again. He just left that pitch hanging for him, and he just lets it rip up the middle. As they'll bring up the DH Alex Rodriguez, as he had a single and an RBI in the first inning, tacking on the first run for the Yankees. This is the 1-1 pitch to A-Rod by Sanchez is swung through the fastball, as it is 1-2 now, as A-Rod whiffed on the fastball. As the 39-year-old veteran he will rip the pitch to right field as Martinez throws on a second, but not in time to get the speedy Gardner, as that is A-Rod's second single of the day. And I'll bring up Mark Teixeira, the switch hitter first baseman, as the 3-2 to Teixeira will be swung through the splitter, as it is the first strikeout of the day for Sanchez. As we'll take a look at this again, as that brings up Brian McCann, as the 0-2 count to McCann. The pitch is foul tipped, as he tips the splitter, as it is still 0-2 for Brian McCann. The 0-2 to him is taken just outside for a fastball, as it is now 1-2. As Anibal Sanchez will kick and deal, and it is ripped to right field, as Brian McCann will not get an RBI as Gardner stays at third. Smart decision. as the pitching coach is coming to the mound, as Carlos Beltran is up to the plate, as the count is now 1-1. As he rips this one past Iglesias, as it is now 3-0 Yankees. As A-Rod will hold up at third as there are bases loaded with, I believe, 1 out. Yes, 1 out for Chase Headley. As the 2-1 pitch by Anibal Sanchez will be grounded to Sanchez, who will throw home, gets him out at home, but Headley is safe at first, as that was a nice play by Sanchez, getting A-Rod out at home as he had to run because the bases were loaded. That brings up the new acquisition, Starlin Castro. Starlin has had a cold start to the year, batting .111, but he rips this one to Cameron Maybin under it, and he will make the catch, and that'll retire the side. But 1 run scores for the Yankees, and we will be back with more Yankees baseball after this. We are back in the bottom of the third, as Valdi has been pitching an ace so far, as Martinez will ground this one foul, as it is now 1-2. As the 1-2 is swung for strike 3. Jared Saltalamacchia goes down. As Saltalamacchia is going to be retired, and that brings out the third baseman, Nick Castellanos. As the 1-2 to Castellanos will be taken for a ball. 2-2 now. The 2-2 will be ripped down to right field. Going back is Beltran, and that is gone. See ya. A solo blast for Nick Castellanos as the Tigers are on the board. And it is now 3-1 Yankees. As this was a shot by Nick Castellanos. As Eovaldi gives up his first run of the game. As Nick Castellanos hit that one 356 feet. And now Cameron Maybin comes to the plate, as we'll take a look at this again. He just completely destroys the hanging pitch. As the 1-1 pitch to Cameron Maybin is taken for a ball. This is now 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Maybin swung through the slider, as it is 2-2 now for Eovaldi. As the 2-2 from Eovaldi is ripped straight to Teixeira as he spears it, as it is now 2 outs in this inning. That brings up the shortstop, Jose Iglesias, as he hasn't really been able to get much done out of the leadoff spot, as he grounds this one just foul, as it is 0-2, as the 0-2 to Iglesias will be popped up to Teixeira. He is under it, and he makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. But not before the Tigers tack on a run off of the solo shot from Nick Castellanos, as it is now 3-1 Yankees. As we fast forward to the bottom of the ninth here, as the Yankees tack on one more run, as it is 4-1 now, as Dellin Betances is in for the game. As Eovaldi's day was, I believe, around 8 innings, as Kinsler swings through the knuckle curve, as that is Dellin's most deadly pitch. As the 1-2 is taken for a ball, as it is now 2-2 for Ian Kinsler. As the 2-2 will be just fouls off the cutter, as he barely missed that. The 2-2 will be strike 3 on the knuckle curve, as he got him looking. That was a fantastic pitch, as we'll take a look at that once again. Right on the spot. Just barely nicks the corner, as that's the first out of the bottom of the ninth inning. As that'll bring up Saltalamacchia, who fouls off the pitch. As the 1-2 to Jared Saltalamacchia from Dellin Betances is going to be fouled off, as we'll have another 1-2. Kicks and deals, and it's popped up to Didi Gregorius, who's on the right side of second base in a shift as he catches it for the second out, and the Tigers are down to their last out. But it is Nick Castellanos, who, remember, did hit that homer as the only Tigers run, as he fouls it off. As now the count is 2-2 as the Tigers are down to their last strike. As he takes a ball outside, as the count is full, the payoff pitch swung through the knuckle curve, and that is it. As Dellin Betances gets his first save on the year, as he fills in for Woldis Chapman, who is still suspended for about 25 more games. 26 more days. Not games. As there's your final line score. As the winning pitcher, Nathan EOVALDI, goes 7 innings strong, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 Ks. For Anibal Sanchez, 3 innings pitched, 11 hits, as he did not have a good start of the game. As the player of the game will be Nathan EOVALDI, I believe so. Yes, it is Nathan EOVALDI, as you can look at his stats, as I just mentioned them. As Nathan EOVALDI is your tops player of the game for the New York Yankees, as he went 7 innings strong, throws a masterpiece against the Tigers. As he got 1 home run, though, against Nick Castellanos. And that'll be it for this broadcast of Yankees baseball. I've been your host, Nick from Millions Gaming. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace.